Welcome to your daily dose of hope. I'm Phyllis Nichols, and I'm glad you're here. Let it be easy. That's become a mantra for me lately in work and in my life. When I say easy, I don't mean without effort, but I do mean without struggle. I don't set out to do things the hard way, but sometimes it can feel like it. For example, I have been wanting to make a short welcome video for a new resource, and I've been wanting to do this for a couple of months. And now I admit that resistance is high. Recording audio is no problem for me, but video, it brings up some stuff. First of all, video means I have to look nice. I need to be having a good hair day and have makeup on. And even when I've managed both of those things, I didn't record because I didn't have good light in my office. So, those are just a couple of the rules that I've put in place that have kept me from taking action. Last week, one of those good hair days came and went because it was raining. So, yeah, this is pretty high resistance. And I decided I just needed to get over it. So I started thinking about it and I realized that, I'm putting intentional hurdles in the way and I wanted to get to the bottom of it. How often do we set up intentional hurdles? Probably more than you might think. Maybe one of these sound familiar. They were all familiar for me, right? Setting a vague goal, like something like I want to get in shape, or I want to have more friends, or I want to be a better daughter, right? When we say those things, I think it's well intentioned, but it's vague, right? We don't put any concrete steps. Like instead of I want to get in shape, maybe it's like I want to work out for 30 minutes a couple of times a week to get started. We kind of create this hurdle of ambiguity that makes it hard to start and impossible to track, quite honestly. Sometimes we create overtly complex systems. And I think I'm guilty of this too. I know a lot of people are. We kind of have this elaborate game plan, right? Like we're going to wake up at 5, we're going to meditate for half an hour, we're going to work out, then we're going to write our morning pages, all before breakfast, right? We set ourselves up for overwhelm and really an impossible setup where we're not going to be able to follow through. The other thing we can do is, again, what I've just described about my video is waiting for perfect conditions, but it could also be something like waiting till after vacation, or I have to start on a Monday, or I have to start on the first of the month, or I have to start at the beginning of the school year. I don't know. We just have these imagined sort of artificial waiting periods that we put in place. Lastly, I want to talk about prioritizing planning over action. I see this a lot in myself, but certainly with my clients sometimes, right? We can get stuck endlessly researching and gathering data, things that kind of start out well-intentioned, but then keep us from taking action. Or we can also spend a lot of time outlining and optimizing, like making huge lists of things to do instead of taking small steps to actually get things done. So these hurdles, we put them in place sometimes to give us psychological comfort. So we feel like that we're committed to change and we feel like we want to be able to point to something that we've done, right? But actually, we're just protecting ourselves from the discomfort of moving forward, making that transformation. So today, I just want to give you this question, like, what if you let it be easy? What if I let it be easy? I can decide and you can decide to do the one thing that moves you forward. Maybe that means I'll just sit down and record the video no matter the conditions, because getting it done is going to feel so much better than living with my continued procrastination. Where can you let things be easy? I hope today's the day you give yourself permission to do it the easy way.